This is the process shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in one of 3 rooms, and I've seen Bad Girls Go to Hell, some kind of sexploitation drama from director Doris Wishman made back in 1965. It follows a woman named Meg, who isn't as bad as the title suggests, but is still put through hell anyways when a janitor in her apartment complex assaults her while her husband is away with work. Having been blackmailed, she ends up killing him during a second assault, after which she decides to run away to New York in an effort to start anew. As she tries to find a place to stay, a police dragnet closes in on her. Not that they actually do anything, though. I gotta say, this was a rough one. Not only in the story and the subject matter, mind you, but the whole production in general. Things start on a downbeat note and don't improve at all from there. It's probably a stretch to say that there's a story to follow at all, especially after the initial setup and Meg's move to New York. Once she gets there, a pattern emerges in which she walks around, finds a place to stay, sticks around, finds or is given a reason to leave, actually leaves, then goes right back to walking around. Repeat this 3 or 4 times and you have your movie. The only details that change are who her roommate is and the reason for her departure. Speaking of which, those roommates, and pretty much any speaking character in this movie, is defined by a single trait, which doesn't even have to be a personality trait. It doesn't help that the writers don't even attempt any bit of character development, especially when it comes to Meg. Despite this entire film being an extended session of suffering for her, she's never actually shown any sort of redemption or sympathy or at least a lesson to be learned, or even just taking the cathartic route and putting her on a murder spree. If there's any sort of subtext or thematic commentary at play, I'm either too stupid to notice, or it was all buried under a whole lot of nothing. Speaking of nothing, the actual production value of the movie has a budget of 0. Outside of finding ways to abuse Meg, there's nothing that indicates any effort at all in making the movie look like it had money behind it, right down to the filming locations either being on the street or within the apartments of people likely already involved in production. There are even a few points where you can clearly see the crew in a window's reflection, and yet they didn't even bother with a reshoot. I can only give the movie this. It does at least try for a creative sort of visual imagery with its cinematography and editing. Despite the subject matter being portrayed, the filmmakers do seem to try and avoid any overt, explicit imagery, though it does replace it with skeeviness and the implication of what's going on. It doesn't help that the imagery and audio are clearly separated, thanks to a dubbed voiceover that only makes these scenes even more creepy or alien in nature. Pretty much everything about this production is either thrown together, stapled together, or accidentally fits in with other ideas. All in all, this movie has nothing going for it in the first place, and even less to say in its defense. Bad Girls Go to Hell, Doris Wishman, 1965. Half a star. I don't recommend it at all, unless you need a reason to kill an hour of your time. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I'm sure that somebody can figure out how to redeem this movie as a cult camp classic, but right now I just need to take a shower. I feel dirty.